Mr. President, you indeed spoke like a badly wounded buffalo yesterday. You spoke like a given-up soul. Nothing inspirational came from that tired speech yesterday. You didn't speak like a person who declined electoral support with 17% to less than 50%. How on earth do you repeat a Sona speech that made you lose elections? You were saying to South Africans yesterday, in so many ways, that you learned nothing out of these historic elections to an extent that you want to continue business as usual. We grew up being told that some of you were collaborators, but we gave you some benefits of the doubt. It was said in this house that you personally wrote a letter to the apartheid police accusing your fellow comrades of planting communist ideas in your head, and we refused to believe that story at that time. It now makes sense that despite the apartheid regime being so oppressive against all freedom fighters, you peacefully and uninterruptedly attended university, and you were given your first job by the ambassadors of apartheid, capitalism, and colonialism. Without a hassle, you bought yourself a first car and a house with the assistance of the Urban Foundation, which was anchored by the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers, while your comrades were sleeping under trees in exile and languishing in jails. We asked ourselves as to how did you form a union of mine workers without being a mine worker? Can't you know? You were the conveyor belt between the workers and the super exploitative mining capitalists in South Africa after the Oppenheimers and Anglo-American had concluded that the mine workers must be organized. Our elders in the struggle have made allegations before in this house that throughout the struggle against apartheid, you were insulated from any form of arrest and harassment by the apartheid system. Towards the end of apartheid, you shockingly placed yourself at the center of the negotiation for the end of apartheid. No one knows how you arrived to be at the center of the negotiations of our liberation. It now explains as to why so many compromises and capitulations were made, leading to a situation where
Honorable
economic
Malema,
power
can you
remained
take
in
a
the
seat?
hands of the white
Honorable
minority.
Malema, can you take a seat? There's an order by the Deputy Chief Whip.
Now, I want to conclude on dealing with one issue which I think needs to be observed in our debates in Parliament. It's important, Honorable Malema, that as we debate, we should play the ball and not the man. Now, you spend a considerable amount of time playing me, the man. What is important in building this country is to play the ball of development. You spend a lot of time talking about how the National Union of Mine Workers was formed. I would like you to read some books, but more importantly, I would like you to spend time to talk to people like Gwede Mantashe, who was a miner, who was one of the first members of the National Union of Mine Workers. I would like you to speak to people like James Mutlatsi, who was the president of the National Union of Mine Workers. It's a pity that Elijah Bahai, a stalwart in our struggle in the African National Congress, has passed on. I would like you to speak to people like Salai Salai, who is in Lesotho. I'd like you to speak to people like Director Matala. I'd like you to speak to many members of the NUM who on the 2nd of December 1982 got together in Klerksdorp to form the National Union of Mine Workers. And as they formed that union, They said we are building a shield and a spear that is going to improve the lives of mine workers. And they did exactly that. And this Anglo-American that you quote suffered the greatest brunt of the actions of mine workers. 5 years later, after formation, being the largest union in this country, they embarked on a 21-day strike and stopped the entire mining industry in this country. And you call that a sellout position. That was not. Speak to Mondli Gungubele, who was a member of the NUM. Speak to many others. So in doing what you do, play the ball. The question I would ask, waar was Jay?
Marikana.
Waar was Jay? Where were you? Now, this is an important lesson. An important lesson.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Honorable members.
Marikana.
Honorable members, can you please be in order? Honorable members, I wish to remind you, those of you who are making noise Friday, you requested the presiding officers to protect each and every one of you. Can we please be magnanimous and do exactly that? If you have got a point of difference, a point of debate, you have an opportunity when you take the platform in the debates to do so. Can we please allow the President to finish his address?
Honorable Malema, nalwena rena lo hwetša nako ya gore re dule fatshe re bolele. Ke nyaka gore re iphe nako mokgomana mošabi re ke re dule fatshe re bolele ka politiki ga golo politiki yane ya kgale e ke bonang gore a o e kwešišiše gabotse e ke bonang kare o na le wa itse wa fatlega ke nyaka gore re dule fatshe go etsetsa eng go etsetsa gore ha o ema mo o iphe nako ya gore o bolele ka seo se tlaisang ditaba tsa rena kwa pele. You know, o ile wa ema mo some 2 years ago wa roga papa wa ka wa re papa wa ka ne ile leponisa. And yes, I'm proud to have been the son of a policeman, a very good policeman. Ke boletse le nkgono wa hao, and nka se ke ka ema mo ka roga nkgono wa hao ka ba ne ke mo tlhompha le wena ke a go tlhompha. Ke bolela so ka obane go tshwanetse gore ha re le politiking re itehesi sa uri re thomphane re sumbedze uri ri ne zwine ra khou zwi ita ndi zwine zwa ḓo isa lushaka lwashu phanḓa. Hezwi zwe wa zwi amba hafha ndo wana uri a zwi ngo fara nne fhedzi hammbi zwo fara na vhathu vhanzhi hammbi. So kha ri dzule fhasi nne na iwe ri ambe zwavhuḓi nga uri holu lushaka ri nga lu fhaṱa hani. Ni helela kwala. Ndi a livhuwa. Thank you very much.